Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Simply Orchids, etc. Today I'll be doing a potting with my Vanda. I've been struggling to make a decision about whether to keep it unpotted or potted up in a medium. So I finally have decided that I will go ahead and pot it up because it's just so difficult to keep it hydrated. So I did my little research on Vanda, whether I can go ahead and pot them up or leave them as the way they are. And so give you a little update. Let me see. So this is my Vanda from Classic Orchids, and as you can see how dry they look. That's one reason why I want to go ahead and pot them up, basically. And it's in a little basket. So what I'm planning to do is go ahead and I should have soaked it technically. One sec. One sec, I'll be back. Hello everyone, I'm back. I went ahead and cleaned the Vanda and removed the little basket, and this is what I'm left with as far as roots go. And oh my goodness, it was so difficult to remove this one from its little basket, which is this one here. That's what it was put in. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and pot her up in this clay pot right here. I believe this is a 6-inch, and I also went ahead and sanitized this pot earlier this week, so this is good to go. And let me get this part here. So both of them, I'm going to be putting them in the terracotta pot to just make it easier. So that way they're not constantly wet, so they have a chance to dry out. And I know they like to dry out a little bit before being watered. And I also went ahead and sanitized the roots by spraying it with hydrogen peroxide. So let's go ahead and put, I'm just gonna use bark chips right here that I have soaked for about a couple days in seaweed extract and CalMag. I also want to mention and also clarify from last time I did a repot. I said I boil my bark chips. Technically, I do boil the water separately from the bark. I don't boil the bark in water and wait to boil. I do do a separate pot, and I boil the water, and then I would pour it over the bark chips, let it cool down, and I would do that about 2-3 times until the water is clear and, you know, really clean. And then after the 2 or 3 times I rinse it with boiling water, I would let it cool down to room temperature, and then I add my seaweed extract and CalMag. So just to clarify for those people who thinks I boil my bark chips on top of the stove, I don't do that. I boiled the water separately. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead, well, before I put the bark chips in, let me see how much bark I need to put in there. So I'm going to put a layer of bark on the bottom here. I think this is a little bit too small, I think. This is a 6-inch terracotta pot, but I'm just going to make it work, I guess. I didn't think it would be too small. Well, for this one anyway, I thought it was be fun. As you can see, the flowers on these has bloomed completely. And they're beautiful purple, I have to say. Purple is one of my favorite color. And I need to somehow, I think I'm just going to twist it until most of the roots are inside. I think it's good. And it does have a few aerial roots right here, so if they want to stay out, they can stay out, I suppose. But the rest is going to go in bark. And so here we are. These bandas are from Classic Orchids. I ordered from them for the first time. And so far I'm satisfied with what they sent me. And twist that. Yeah, I've been struggling to decide whether I should go ahead and pot these bandas, because a lot of people have them hanging. And I mean, I can hang these, but the problem is I have to constantly water them, and I don't know if I want to, you know, constantly water them like that. So I have decided just go ahead and put them in bark, because they'll have humidity and also keep them in, they'll have moisture in their roots as well. And I also thought about putting it in vases, you know, and put them in like somewhat like a semi-water culture as well. And again, I didn't find that too pleasing either, because, you know, you still have to, you know, maintain the water. You know, you have to change it out every so often, because after a while, if you don't change it, because it's a clear vase, depending on the vases you actually put it in, you can put it in color vases like red or blue to keep the algae from forming, but you still have to change the water out as well. So I said no, I think I'll just keep it in bark and then water this once a week, you know. And so yeah, that's what I opt out and come to a conclusion that I think I'm better off potting them up versus putting in vases and putting water in there, which is I think it'll be happier. And I don't have the luxury to have osmosis right now. So this one is potted up, as you can see, and I think it's stable enough to stay. I might have to put a stake up there, but this one is potted up. So let's take the other one, trade this one out. put that one aside. And so here is the other one I also cleaned up as well. As you can see, I have removed a lot of the dead roots in there. And I also sprayed it with hydrogen peroxide. So I'm going to put her there for a minute, and I'm going to put a layer of bark in the bottom. Let's see. I think that's good. Yeah, that's perfect. So I'm going to move the leaves out of the way. And put bark around it. And that's it. There we go. And plus, I think it would be okay for me to keep it in the pot because I do have a drier climate here in Southern California. The more you live in the inland, the drier your environment is. If you live near the ocean, such as San Diego, you have a tendency to have more humidity, and you can get away with having your vanda unpotted and just hanging, you know, wherever you hang your vanda. And me living more inland, I can't do that because I would have to water my vanda 2-3 times a day, I think. And here in Southern California, we are in save mode when it comes to water. So that's why that's another reason why I opt out to pot up my vanda versus putting it in a vase. You know, not only I don't have osmosis, I don't have the luxury to change out the water every so often with a, you know, with the vases. So yeah, so I have to kind of compromise when it comes to these vanda, and I know they probably prefer, but I think they'll adjust fine. I think you know, especially in the drier climate that I have here in California, I think they'll be definitely more happier versus just being out, you know. So here we go. This one is potted as well, and I will go ahead and clean the leaves, but I'm not going to clean it here on camera. I'm going to do that you know, after this. Make sure there's no water in these crevices of the leaves. So this one is potted up, and I think this one I don't need to stake out either. And so I got one more to pot up as far as Classic Orchids, because I have another one from Classic Orchids that I have ordered. So I'm gonna put this one over here, and I'll show you the other one that I have from Classic Orchids. One sec. So this is from Classic Orchids as well. Let me push this out. As you can see, it has bloomed already. Can you see that? See how beautiful the flowers are? And This is Phalaenopsis. Let me see if I can show you guys, remind you what this Phalaenopsis is. This is Phalaenopsis young home little jewel. So that's her. And so this one I'm gonna pot her up in this 4-inch pot here. It has holes as well. And this has a plastic container that I could just, let's see, that I could just remove. Yeah, that was easy. Let me remove this tip for a minute. So, well, it looks like this one is in moss, and the moss is really, really wet. So what I'm going to do is push it down like this. I think it would be a lot easier. Yeah. So there. I ordered this particular one, this Phalaenopsis, because of the coloring. It looks like more of a reddish maroon, and again, that's one of my favorite color as well, not just purple. So yeah, just need to remove these mosses here, and the root system is fairly healthy. I don't see any dieback in here so far. It's kind of crowded on here on this counter. Yeah, the roots, there's no dieback, so I don't have to trim anything. I just have to basically just pot it up and just try to remove all the moss. I like moss, but not this much of moss, you know. I like just enough to maintain moisture, but not this much moss. And my medium is bark anyway. I prefer bark over moss, because mosses, again, they stay wet for a certain amount of time, but not too long. I mean, actually, it depends on what pot you use. If you use plastic pot, the wetness on the moss is a lot longer. But all right, I'm gonna put you guys on pause. I want to clean this up really good and also spray it down with hydrogen peroxide before I pot her up to make sure there's no critters in there. So let me pause you guys, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So this is the pot I'm going to be using, which is I believe is 4 inches. So I think she'll fit in here just fine, I think. Yeah, I think she'll be in here just fine. So let me put a little bit of bark in there. Okay. There we go. I can't seem to find my white tray that I like to use because the lip is lower than my yellow one right here. And I have no idea where it went. I normally put it in my certain area. I think somebody moved it without telling me. So that's why I'm using this yellow container here. And also our power is off right now because they're doing some updating on our electricity system here because they're building new homes down the street from here. So they'll be in the same power grid as us. But it's kind of inconvenient because I don't have no internet or TV. So I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to upload this video. Hopefully they'll turn on by this afternoon, you know, not too late. They've been doing this. This is the third time they shut down our power. They shut our power down last week on Monday as well. And then a month ago, they shut it down for the whole entire day. They didn't turn it back on till like 5:30. Last Monday, they turned it on by about almost 3:30, I believe. So I'm hoping they'll do the same thing today. I hope they'll have it on by today so I can upload this video. Yeah, it's just inconvenient, but I suppose they have to do what they have to do, right? I'm doing some updating, adding new homes. So I think this is fine. Yeah, okay. So here we are. She has a new home and this 4.5-inch pot here. She's been in here for about, well, not in this pot, but she's been with me for about 3 weeks now, actually, because I didn't want to pot her up right away. I wanted her to adjust to her new environment. So it's always good when you get a new orchid. You want to wait for a few weeks before you can repot your orchids. As far as whether it's good to pot up your orchids while it's in bloom or in bud, I always potted up mine in bloom or bud, and nothing has happened to it. I had no bud blasts or anything like that when I repot. The only thing I do differently is just let it adjust to the new environment for about about 2-3 weeks, and then you can repot it. And then it's indoors, so it doesn't have that that sudden change of temperature. That's one thing that you want to avoid is has a drastic change in your temperature, because if you're comfortable, your phalaenopsis or your orchids will be comfortable as well. So anyway, this is potting up my classic orchids, and this is it for now. Next time I will be repotting my orchids from Andy's Orchids. So till then, if you enjoyed my video, go ahead and push that like button, and also subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet. I would really appreciate that, and I thank you from my bottom of my heart for sticking around and watching my video. Have a good day, you guys. Keep safe and happy growing, everyone. Bye for now.